Hello, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to courtesy of LightClub Curiosity Shop and the Chakra Witch. We are here for Show and Spell. And Show and Spell is kind of a fun thing that's evolved over our Friday night broadcast. We've called a lot of different things, but and now I think it's just kind of worked out the best to do it this way because get to share some pointers with you. Yes, we do talk about the shop and things like that, but I think that this is kind of like the territory that covers questions that you've always wanted to ask and maybe haven't gotten the opportunity to do. So my husband was going to join me tonight, but he's in the middle of making a fresh batch of candles. Our candles have been going crazy lately. So of course, he's making the money one because that's always the one that just kind of sells itself. But what I wanted to talk about tonight, and if you got to see the description in this, the description for this particular video, you see that we're going to talk about love spells tonight. And because I have a very specific philosophy on love spells and what we create them to do. And we have a lot of materials around the shop that are good for love spells, but when people come in and ask me questions about them, I kind of get on my soapbox a little bit. So pardon me if I sound like I'm doing that tonight, because I think it's important. There's certain things about our mindset. If our mind isn't there and isn't in the right place when we're going to try to manifest something or to cast a spell or anything like that, then the actual fuel that makes the magic work isn't there. So it's really all about getting our mind in alignment with the things that our body will do and our spirit feels. So that's really what a spell is it's basically just a thought or a prayer, but it has the unity of the spirit behind it as well as the physical action. So it's basically a harmonized prayer, if you will. I think that's the best way to say it. So thank you all for showing up. I'm seeing some of you all greeting each other already. I love to see that. I am on another streaming device here, so I can't really see all the comments immediately, but every once in a while. So if you've ever made it into the shop or have gone onto our website, because we do have an online shop at mylight.com. There's a bunch of tabs to book any of our services. We also do readings online as well. So if you're watching this from a distance and you're never able to make it into the shop, we create a virtual experience for you in just about any capacity that we have. So if you've ever looked, we have our attraction candles, we have our love candles, we have our spell kits, we have our sprays, everything. And I've noticed in particular that the thing that is becoming very popular lately, because 'tis the season, is the love kit. And I love these little kits because this is basically it has everything in it that you would need in order to cast. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to disassemble one of these kits and just give some pointers. Even if you didn't have this particular kit, there are certain things that you can do to make love spells work a little bit more. Now, the thing is that I have a firm belief, and some people may disagree, is that I'm never comfortable with casting a spell on anyone other than myself. I just don't feel that it is ethical. I think that you can only cast on yourself because that's the only person that you have the ultimate control over. So when I do a love spell, okay, the whole idea behind a love spell is if you want to draw love in, you really have to feel it within because you are the magnet. Okay, you are the energy that makes this work. So if you want to draw more love into your life, and I'm not even talking about necessarily a relationship, I'm just talking in general. You just want all of your relationships to express more love. You want to feel more attractive. Okay, you want to feel more love for yourself, basically, is the idea, is that whenever you want to attract love to you, you have to feel it within to give the love something to stick to. You have to create the magnet that will pull it in, which is self-love. Okay. So whenever I do a love spell, I'm basically casting it on myself to feel my own loving energy and to make myself more attractive to the energies of love. And then that brings you more, instead of asking for someone specifically, or you want this to happen or something like that, we often don't know what is best for ourselves, because sometimes we do get in our own way a little bit. So the best thing to do is to just really feel the love for yourself, because that's just the gift that keeps on giving. And then that will draw in whatever you need at that time. Okay. But the most love that you need is, of course, always coming from within. And then therefore, as within, so without. So these little kits here, I'm just going to break down what my favorite thing about it is. They all come with a little mojo bag of herbs, but the loved ones have these little heart-shaped bags, which I just think is the cutest little thing. I just said this is something we've always had. I mean, look at that. It's so cute. So anyway, they smell so good. So you'll have, the earth element. Then we have, of course, the fire element. And then the water element. This is a little potion bottle. And, the air is basically going to be created through the breath of our intention, as well as, when the candle finally does go out and smoke rises. So it just kind of unifies all of our elements. So the first thing you do, we've got our little holder here. Let me get the candle all set up. I'm just going to put this off to the side. I'm actually, what I like to do is when I cast stuff, I like to keep everything contained. So I pulled off one of this is something a lot of people I think don't realize, is I like to use the crystal grids that we have. This one in particular is pretty cool because it has the pentacle as well as the triquetra in there and the circle. So I do like to cast on these crystal grid boards. So I'm going to lay that down. I got the candle on that, putting that off to the side, and I've got the mojo bag right here. And then I've got the potion. So those are the ingredients. And then we've got the little scroll of directions. Now, what's nice about this with the scroll is that it gives you the option that you can add whatever you want. You can always make these very specific. I know that people will contact me a lot about custom kits, and they want a custom love spell kit. And I always recommend just get the love kit, and then when you get to the point where you say the incantation or something like that, you can rewrite that as much as you want. I always recommend that first, because I think people think that when I make something custom for them on the spot, it's going to be more powerful because it was just for them. But the one disadvantage about making something for you on the spot is that it doesn't have all of the timing behind it that the kits that go on the shelves do. Like, for example, when you see this mojo bag and everything, this stuff all went out and was charged under a couple of full moons. I won't have the time to do that when I have something on the spot, say. And you can still customize it as much as you need to. So that's why I always recommend, if you can come in and you do see a candle or you do see something that we did make in the shop, remember, it already has all of that magical timing behind it for you. And you can always customize it when you cast it yourself. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a little potion bottle. And this is always a nice thing whenever you're doing any type of spell, to kind of combine all of the elements. So this little guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat the four sides of the candle. And being as I'm attracting, I'm going to go in an upward motion, like that, towards the tip. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and then there's always going to be plenty of potion left over, so why not? It just smells good. Yeah, give myself a little whoop like that. And of course, because this is a love spell for me, I'm going right over the heart. Okay, and even on my little jewel here because it smells nice. And always save the potion afterwards. You got some nice stuff there. Okay, so I'm putting that in the handle on the grid just to hold it up for a few moments. Now the herbs, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of it down on the grid here. And then I'm going to roll the candle in them. That way you get the herbs, they'll stick to the candle because potion's already there holding it on. So I'm going to do that. And just kind of roll that up. And now you can see that there is definitely some herbs on this candle. Now I like to take the rest of the herbs because there's always some left over. I'm not going to take all of them. I'm just going to make a little circle of herbs on this grid. And I wish you could see this, but if I pick it up, they'll slide. And I make a little circle around the candle holder, and then I put the candle in it. So that looks good. But inadvertently, I'm always going to have some left over. So then I take the potion again, and I'm going to anoint this bag 4 times, 1 for each direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And there's still going to be potion left over. You'd be surprised how much these little bottles hold. I'm always very pleasantly surprised by that. Okay. So the bag's oiled up, and then I put that near the candle, not too near. I don't want it to go up in flames. Okay, so I put it near the candle. And the other thing you can add, sometimes you like to do this, is that I might even want to, even though I've already got the herbs on here, there's still a little bit of room, and I'm going to carve my name in here because this is a love spell for me to love myself more and just kind of maybe care for myself a little bit more. We're going to up the self-care. So I'm carving that in. You see that was good. I didn't knock over any of the herbs on that. That's a little extra touch. That just personalizes it a little bit more. And plus these are little cool things. I just like them. Okay, so we got that. And then these are all the directions that are included on the kit. The only reason I didn't have to read this is because I wrote this. Okay. And then you've got the incantation on here. Now, you can personalize this to whatever way you want. I'm not going to read the whole thing out loud and everything because I'm not going to, I don't want to give my entire intention away. This is a personal one for just myself. So I'm just going to take a moment to kind of ground myself, get ready, set the intention, visualize it, see it in my mind, collect my thoughts, be singular and confident, and have complete faith that whatever I ask for will be mine by the power of 3 times 3. As I will it, so mote it be. And then you light that sucker. There we go. And it's a nice little 2-hour candle, not even. And we're just going to let that burn all the way down. So typically what it says in the instructions after that is that once the candle burns all the way down, and you got to let it burn all the way down, just let it go uninterrupted. Once you set that intention, you got to make sure that you have the time to just let it go. Okay. So the little candles are nice for that. Now, if you have spell candles, that's a 60-hour candle. They're not going to go full on the whole time, but that's why we put them in a jar. Because what you can do is you can let it burn. I always recommend whenever you initially cast a spell, you let it burn for at least an hour, just to kind of let it go. Make sure that the wax pools all the way across the candle. Then when you're done, you take the lid and you just put it back on. It'll snuff the flame. So you haven't blown it out or anything. You haven't blown away your intention. You've just kind of temporarily snuffed it. And then when you light it again, you'll be adding to that spell again, and it will continue to build. That's why sometimes when people come in and they want to buy the little candles, I'll recommend, if you really wanted to build and work on this thing and really craft this very powerful intention, get the big ones. But this nice kit is a way of combining those 4 elements and making sure that you have everything from all 4 directions actively. When you light the candle, it already has the herbs, it has the potion, it already has everything in it. But if you want to actually do it by hand, the kit is a nice option. And so that will burn all the way down. Now, when you're done, you'll have a little pool of wax, and you'll still have this mojo bag. Okay. So this mojo bag, what they say is to carry it on you for about 3 days. Okay, minimum. Now, if you want, you can just throw it in your purse, or you can also have it in your pocket or something nearby if you want to do it for as long as you like. Some people choose to do it for a full moon cycle, just to really get that full charge of the energy. It's up to you. But the question I hear over and over again is, when you're done with it, then what happens? I don't feel right about throwing it away or something like that, which is a very valid, very good question, very thoughtful question. Okay, so I like to take the wax and just keep it together. Okay. Now you have several options. Okay. Some people have chosen, sometimes if they have a fireplace or something, they might just toss this in the fireplace as an offering or something, because that could just kind of transforms and purifies the energy. Some people do that. Some people choose to keep it on them until they really feel that the spell has worked. Okay, so that you might keep it on longer than what it says in the directions. The directions are a minimum. Okay, but if you feel like you want to keep it on you longer, you're more than welcome to do so. I've had mojos that I've kept in my purse for like a year. So that's definitely an option. The third is basically when you do get ready to release it, you find like a sacred space in nature and you just kind of leave it as an offering. You could do that with the wax as well. You take the wax and everything. There's always a place that you should designate that you go to and this place feels right. Okay, because if you continually go there to leave offerings, then you're infusing more and more power and intention in that particular location. So just by leaving it there, that's a powerful offering and spell, a chain reaction in and of itself. Okay, so that's just something to think about. So again, I would just like to, oh good, I'm seeing some great comments and everything. I'm so happy. It's always nice to connect with you guys. So that's basically how the kits work and just kind of the ethics behind love spells in general. See, when you think about it, if you're trying to cast it on someone else, like just say you have someone in particular to cast a love spell on. And my husband used to say, like a lot of times when we first met, he was so sure that I cast a love spell on him, and I always told him absolutely not. I would never cast a spell on somebody else. The only ones that I've ever done on another person were basically if somebody wanted me to do a healing spell and asked me first and actually gave me the permission to do so. That's the only time where I really feel like it's ethical to work on someone else, because otherwise you're interfering with free will. Okay, so when it comes to, like, if you turned around and you did try to cast a love spell on somebody else, what's really going to happen is, remember, it's going to come right back to you. So all that's going to happen is you're going to be all the more obsessed with this particular person. You're not going to really affect them at all, because again, it goes against the constraints of free will. So what will happen is it'll be all the more difficult for you to get this person out of your mind. Okay? It's better off to just turn yourself into this huge love magnet, really feel the love for yourself, and then realize that you got a choice. You're attractive to a lot of people, okay, and you are a prize and not just somebody. You don't want to be begging for love from somebody else who's not necessarily returning it to you. Okay, you want to have a choice, and you want to be very confident in your ability to attract and in your own self-worth, and to also treat yourself the way you would want other people to treat you. So that's basically the whole idea behind any type of love spell whatsoever. It's really all about loving yourself. So feel free to put that love out there at any time, because the more love you show for yourself and the more respect you show for yourself, you're going to create a current, and that will constantly be coming back to you. And that's the type of thing that makes this world a better place to live in anyway. A bunch of people who have so much love spilling out in their hearts that it just starts to affect everyone else. Because that's really what sharing the light is all about. So I thank you for joining us tonight. We have some things coming up with LightClub in the next couple of weeks. We do have some classes coming up that we just had a very successful Alchemy and Law of Attraction class the other night. For those of you who missed it, if you ever miss a class, please contact me, because I do have the recording of that class, so you can still register for the class and take it at any time. Okay, just because you missed the live, you still have access to the class, and you can still register for that, but you would have to contact me. Just message us through the LightClub Facebook page, or if you are watching this on YouTube, because we do have a YouTube channel now, okay, just look up LightClub Curiosity Shop on YouTube. Please follow us. It's brand new. And there is an email link there on our YouTube page as well. So we would be more than happy to help you with anything. We have, we're going to be open tomorrow and Sunday from 11 to 6. We'll have Edward in reading on Saturday, as well as Rhiannon on Saturday and Sunday. So please feel free to stop by, pay us a visit, Check us out in cyberspace, connect, find us on the LightClub Curiosity community and post there to your heart's content. And as always, share the light. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, blessed be.